In the previous video, we looked at some examples of how to write functions. One of the keywords that we saw was called external. In this video, I'll explain what external is, and another keyword that is related is called internal. So the keyword external means that the function can only be called from outside this contract. This means that regular users and external contracts will be able to call that function. On the other hand, internal means that the function can only be called inside this contract. So we have an external function, and in contrast, let's create an example of an internal function, say internal. And then I'll use the pure keyword again, def_add, and for simplicity, let's add two numbers, x uint 256 and y uint 256, and it's gonna return the sum uint 256, and inside here we'll say return x plus y. So an internal function can only be called inside this contract. For example, let's say that we have another external function. In here, I'll use another keyword called view. So now we have a keyword called peer and view. I'll explain the difference in another video. So moving on, say def. Let's calculate the average of x plus y, say a, b, g. X uint 256 and y uint 256, and it will return the average uint 256. This function average can only be called from outside this contract. However, this function over here, add, can only be called inside this contract. So to call this function add, what you do is say self.add xy. It's going to return a sum of the two numbers. Let's say this is z is equal to uint 56. And then let's divide this by 2 to return the average. Return z divided by 2. So notice, here we're calling an internal function called add. And if we compile this contract, you'll notice that the contract compiles. However, let's say that we try to call the external function, the one over here, by saying self.extfunc. Then what you'll see is that the contract will not compile since this function is declared as external. And you see the error over here, cannot call external function. So we cannot call external function inside a contract. We can only call internal functions. Then the other thing that you'll notice is that when we deploy this contract, this function add, we will not be able to call or see this function. And to show you this, let's compile the contract again and then deploy it. And you'll see over here that we have two functions. However, we have three functions. Two of them are external and one of them is internal. The internal function add cannot be seen over here or called externally. The only functions that we can call are the external functions, extfunc, and average. Let's try calling this. Take the average of, let's say, 1 and 3, and we get 2 back.